Excuse me for the look, I just woke up. We all know that there was a fight, right? A massive one. And America all came together as the fight happened. And during the fight, they placed their bets, they placed everything on the line. And most of it sided with Canelo, because Canelo was said to be heavier and more dangerous. And just in general, like, stronger than Crawford, right? We all know that Crawford could, put some damage on blokes. Before the fight, there were so many times when Crawford proved his worth, and he really did seem, unstoppable before the fight. A lot of people were just hating on him, like, oh, Canelo's stronger than him because he's going to be bigger on fight night. Oh, he's going to be tons more bigger than bro. I mean, he's going to get slept by bro. They were even saying he was going to get knocked out, right? In my personal opinion, before the fight, I did think that Crawford was actually going to get knocked out by Canelo. Because there was so much talk about it, right? And you can't really escape that. So, with myself, I just waited. And then that's when the fight actually landed. So, I was at another place. I was actually in Utah while watching the fight, right? And it was crazy. I mean, I watched it with family and it was fun. And it was seeing like the skill Crawford put into there and how he adapted. I don't think Crawford ever switched to orthodox stance at all in the fight. He stayed southpaw, and Canelo had no answer at all. And it was just amazing. I mean, it was anticlimactic. There was not a lot of like big power shots. I mean, both dudes were adapting to each other. And funny I say adapt because Canelo could not adapt at all to Crawford. So I feel like there was a game plan that Crawford had for Canelo. It was score on points, right? I mean, you can't knock out Canelo. He's been hit by Triple G like I think 2 times. Well placed shots those 2 times with Triple G. I forgot which fight of the trilogy it was, but there was the most commonly known one where he got hit with a straight, a very soul-taking straight, but he brushed it off, right? Then there's another one where I think he threw a punch, and during the punch he got intercepted by Triple G, and it actually rocked his head like super bad. It's just like that, right? It actually rocked him. But the thing Canelo likes to do is when he does get rocked, he likes to slip and then punch, right? I noticed that most boxers, when they get hit, they start to shell up and they'll protect themselves, Canelo's technique was like whenever he gets hit or whenever he just feels dazed in general, he starts to return a lot more fire. I mean, that's the premise of pressure boxing. Mexicans don't really give up that easily, Crawford's game plan. Yeah, like I said, he was there to gather points, but the thing was, he also had another advantage to that. He was fighting purely in southpaw. I mean, that's obvious. That's how he fights. He always fights in southpaw, right? But Crawford was maintaining this position because Canelo had a really hard time with southpaw fighters in general. I mean, southpaw fighters, they're extremely hard to get around. You always need your lead foot outside of theirs, or else you're gonna have a lot of trouble. Pacquiao likes to do that. Crawford likes to do that. Zab Judah likes to do that. And even, Tarver, some oldies, I think Prince not seem like to do that, but I don't really know if he was mainly southpaw. Maybe he was a switcher, I don't know. Whitaker, he likes to use southpaw and he likes to dance outside of his enemy's range and, just shoot like that, jab out, jab in. And Crawford had a lot of advantage as a southpaw fighter. Canelo, for the most hand, he likes to, like just slowly come in, weave, hit, then weave and hit. And it's not just bare bones like that. He adds a lot to that, right? It was just that Crawford always had his lead foot outside, And whenever Crawford did try to, or not Crawford, whenever Canelo tried to hit, to the body, Crawford was always blocking, And in return fire right after that, and then he goes out, And that's not solely the game plan. Crawford did, he scored on points. Just because of that, he could jab, go out, jab, go out. And obviously, Crawford, he will intercept punches. Canelo tried to do that. Canelo, well, he didn't try to intercept punches. He'll throw, then he'll try to do his signature counters and all that, crackle doodle do. It was just that Crawford would actually do that in return. So Canelo will throw. Crawford, being the aggressor, sometimes will like throw everything he has and just combo, you know, and then he would just go out. You can't knock out Canelo, but you can sure as hell score points on bro. No, he's always trying to weave, but then you get hit in the body. You don't expect it, then you get hit in the face. So Canelo tried to keep pressuring Crawford. He tried to adapt even. So there's this one instance. I think Crawford would jab, and then Canelo will block, or he'll do something. He'll block it, and then he'll like that, you know, return jab. So this leaves him open, and Crawford noticed that whenever Canelo would throw back the jab, which he would get caught by, he'll leave his left side open, like this. Crawford will jab, and then he'll do this, then left hook around, right? Or no, he didn't jab. He'll straight left hook around the guard. Canelo will get caught, and these are one of the instances Canelo will get trapped by these techniques a lot of times, right? And Canelo finally learned how to adapt. So he'll throw the jab and he'll block this time. Crawford adapted. Go straight to the body, and then another jab to the head. Canelo was caught off guard. Even I would be caught off guard. I mean, these are things you have to learn to adapt to. Canelo's not built to adapt to things like that, you know? He's tried, but he's just not, he can't think as well when he's under pressure. Crawford, he grew up boxing since he was like, what, 11 or 10? He would always get into fights before he actually dropped into boxing, which I think either his grandma or mother got him into. He's always been that guy. I mean, he was literally born into fighting. Canelo, I'm gonna have to do my research on Canelo, but as far as I hear, Canelo's not that good at adapting. So what has it come to? Canelo has just been beaten by a better counterpuncher. I like to think about it this way. Pacquiao can beat Marquez. He's beaten him over 3 times. And counterpunchers don't do good with volume punchers at all. They need something to work with. One hit, then they counter. You know what I'm saying? But Marquez, like, it took him 4 fights to actually put Pacquiao down, right? And at that point, the counterpuncher gets the upper hand because he's starting to learn from the volume of punches. He's starting to learn how they begin. And that's when Marquez, like, timed him. But then you put a counterpuncher against another counterpuncher. Marquez versus Mayweather. They're both counterpunchers. And it all depends who's the sharper fighter. If I was Marquez, if I couldn't time Mayweather, I would be a volume puncher at that point. But then again, Marquez is not a volume puncher because he naturally isn't trained for that. He's naturally not built for volume punching. Pacquiao is. And guess what? Pacquiao gave Mayweather trouble. Like Naoya Inoue versus Merle Jean. That one was a recent one. Merle Jean couldn't defeat Inoue because he was not a sharper fighter as a counterpuncher. When he did begin to turn up the heat, which was late as hell, like in the 12th round, that's when he finally landed on Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is not good against volume punchers. You need to be a sharper counterpuncher to fight another counterpuncher. If you're not, then resort to volume fighting. Where does it tie with all of this? I don't even know. But thank you guys for watching.